Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of The Sauce. We're on to Thursday night now, Week 10, Tulane, Charlotte. I'm sure most people are going to be watching Texans-Jets Thursday Night Football instead of this, but we do have a college football game. Tulane's on the road at Charlotte. I'm recording this on Wednesday afternoon, coming off an 0-3 Tuesday night. New Mexico State didn't come close, so went 0-2 in the NBA. Not only that, pretty sure every one of my leans lost on Tuesday night. So coming off a rough Tuesday night, man.
Quick update, and we'll start with the good news. I had a winning night tonight, so that's the good news. I went 3-1 in the NBA. Bad news was my biggest bet was Liberty -2, and they just threw an interception to lose the game. Wait, there's a flag? Nah, they're still celebrating. It's over. So 3-1 in the NBA, but lost Liberty, which sucks. But whatever. Had a winning night. Bounced back from an 0-3 Tuesday. Let's do it Thursday night.
Welcome to the Sauce. The Sauce. Sauce. Hey, get the sauce.
All right, like I said, we got Tulane on the road at Charlotte. 49ers catching 16 or 16.5 at home here, depending on your sportsbook. Total sitting at 55.5 pretty much across the board. Let's get into this one, and we'll start with the Tulane offense. This is an offense that wants to run the ball, especially recently. They've been running the ball even more so as of late. They're 4th in the country in run frequency. They've been pretty good at it. They're 22nd in the country in yards per play, 37th in success rate. As far as the rushing numbers, 31st in yards per carry, 72nd in success rate per rush isn't great, but they're sitting at 17th in effective rush. So Sharp College Football has this as one of the better rushing attacks in the country. Passing numbers are efficient. 10th in yards per pass attempt, 12th in success rate per dropback, but just 75th in effective pass, and that's most likely because they haven't been dropping back to pass much recently, especially the last 3 games. We'll get into it. Tulane offensively sitting at 49th in OFEI. They should have a favorable matchup here against a Charlotte defense that's struggling to stop the run. Look at their numbers against the run here. 111th in yards per carry allowed, 101st in success rate per rush, 108th in effective rush. So right off the bat, it's looking like a good matchup here for Tulane. In their last 5 games, they're averaging over 250 rushing yards per game, 5.49 yards per carry, 46.6% success rate per rush. Yes, you can point at the fact that there's a lot of bad defenses at the top of this graphic. Louisiana, offensive team. South Florida, offensive team. UAB's terrible. Rice is terrible. North Texas, offensive team. So yes, they've played 5 bad defenses, but what do you think Charlotte is? And they've been especially dominant running the ball on the road. In their last 3 road games, they're averaging over 295 rushing yards per game, over 6.1 yards per carry. I mean, this is a little bit tongue-in-cheek. I'm not sure if I take anything away from it. Thought it was interesting enough to include in the video. They're matched up against a Charlotte defense that is struggling to stop the run. In their last 4 games, they're allowing over 5 yards per carry as a team, 45.4% success rate per rush. Now, you might be looking at this graphic and see Navy's in there. So you might be like, Kyle, Navy, they're skewing the numbers here. Well, actually, no. They actually played decent defense against Navy. Look what happens if we take Navy out. Just Rice, Eastern Carolina, Memphis, 3 teams that don't really run the ball, allowing 5.47 yards per carry, 44.9% success rate per rush. So this is a run defense that's really struggling. Now, to give some credit to Charlotte, they have played some solid defense against the pass recently. In their last 4 games, they're allowing just 6.85 yards per pass attempt, 36.3% success rate per dropback. So they have defended the pass pretty well. But the thing is, like I said before, Tulane seems to be really shifting into a run-first offense all the way. Not that Mensah's been bad. In fact, he's having a pretty efficient season here. 1,589 passing yards, 9.6 yards per pass attempt, 14 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. And if you look at their last 3 games, it's pretty clear that this team is trying to run the ball. I mean, just 169 passing yards per game. But if you look at the efficiency numbers, it's been effective. When they drop back to pass, it works. They just haven't been dropping back to pass much. 9.87 yards per pass attempt, 49.4% success rate per dropback. So very efficient passing numbers, but this team's been leaning on the run. And against a Charlotte defense that's been struggling to stop the run, I don't expect that to change here. So the Green Wave should have no problem moving the football in this one on the road. But what about the other side? Let's talk about the Charlotte offense, and this is this is a weird one. Okay, so obviously, at first glance, this is going to be tough, right? Tulane's defense is pretty good. 58th in yards per play, 29th in success rate, solid numbers against the pass, decent numbers against the run, against a Charlotte offense that hasn't been particularly good this year. So obviously, a favorable matchup for Tulane when we first look. Here's the thing about the Charlotte offense. All right, so we don't know who's going to be playing quarterback. I think, if I had to guess, it's going to be Deshaun Purdy. And if you look at his numbers on the year, I mean, 884 passing yards, 9.1 yards per attempt, 5 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, an F turnover turnover-worthy play rate. Puts the ball in harm's way. But check this out. So when you pull up Charlotte's schedule, they're sitting at 3-5 so far this year. Want to know the 3 games where Deshaun Purdy started? He started 3 games. The 3 wins. Charlotte is 3-0 in the games Deshaun Purdy has started at quarterback. The reason it's weird, he hasn't played particularly well. In fact, in the Gardner-Webb game, they pulled him out because they were down 20-6 against an FCS program. But they came back and won the game. So it's kind of a weird situation. They are undefeated when this kid starts at quarterback, but he hasn't played particularly well. He played great in the East Carolina game. He also played great in the Rice game. His other 2 starts, he played pretty well, but it's tough to make a prediction on what we're going to see. If you're looking for a brief summary on the quarterback situation here at Charlotte, they brought in Max Brown from Florida. Max Brown, you might remember him, played at the end of the year for the Gators last year, transferred over to Charlotte to be the starting quarterback. He got injured second game of the year on the road at North Carolina. Deshaun Purdy starts the next game against Gardner-Webb. As I talked about, they pulled him down 2 touchdowns. Come back and win the game because they put in Trexler. I think his name's Trexler Ivy. Trexler Ivy starts the next game, looks terrible. Deshaun Purdy starts the 2 games after that, actually plays pretty well. They win both games. They went 2-0 in those 2 games. Then Max Brown returns from injury. He plays the entire Navy game. They get their ass beat by Navy. Then the following game against Memphis, they benched Max Brown for Deshaun Purdy, I believe at halftime. So this has been a crazy quarterback carousel. I would imagine Deshaun Purdy probably going to get the start. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I really don't know. If I'm Charlotte, I'm going with Deshaun Purdy, not because he's been better than Max Brown, but for some reason the team has found success in the games when he starts. I know that makes no sense, but who knows what's going to happen here at quarterback. One thing you can say for Charlotte's offense is they're definitely running the ball a lot more efficiently as of late. In their first 5 games, they were averaging just 2.76 yards per carry as a team, 37.3% success rate per rush, under 80 rushing yards per game. But in their last 3, I mean, look at these numbers, much better in their last 3 games. And it's not like they played bad defenses. ECU has a decent defense. Navy, pretty good defense. Memphis is actually surprising us, playing decent defense this year. So they're definitely running the ball a lot more efficiently as of late. The problem is Tulane has been so shut down against the run. They brought back a lot of production from last year's defensive front, and it's working. Look at their last 4 games. They're allowing just 62.5 rushing yards per game, 2.81 yards per carry, 29% success rate per rush. And yeah, they played some passing offenses in there, but those are some good offensive, well, shouldn't say good offense. Those are some offensive teams they've played. South Florida is certainly a solid rushing offense. So, I mean, they're playing lockdown offense against the run. I don't know if Charlotte can continue their recent rushing success against this defense. As far as betting the game, I mean, I don't know. I want to bet Charlotte just because Deshaun Purdy 3-0 as the starter, but that doesn't really make any logical sense. On paper, Tulane should win this one by more than 2 touchdowns, which is why they're laying 16 points on the road. I guess I'll say Charlotte plus the points or pass. I really don't know, to be honest. Charlotte plus 16 or pass. How about that? If you'd like to see all the bets I have open, head over to KyleKirms.com and click open bets. You'll see all mine as well as everyone on the staff here. Live show, 4 p.m. Eastern time. We'll go through this game. We'll go through the Thursday night football game. We'll go through the NBA. All of that. If you're able to make it, we'd love to see you in the comments. Let's have ourselves a good one. Please remember to bet responsibly. Talk to you later.